So before we go ahead and get started on the video I have for you guys, I'm just going to kind of go briefly through what we have going on this week. So today we're doing the video on transformations. It's going to be a very brief video. Hopefully it'll be enough for you guys to do the practice worksheet. If not, just try your best on that. Try whatever you can with it. On Monday, you're going to have a YouTube video that's going to also go through the different types of transformations. You have a Khan Academy assignment for transformations. We're going to have a kind of fun student discussion going on Wednesday, so you'll see that up later on this week. And then on Thursday, we're going to have Algebra Jeopardy. So it's going to help you kind of go through everything that we've learned in algebra, and hopefully it'll be a fun little game. I'm going to try to see if I can get it to where I have all my algebra classes in one office hour. So if anything, I'll let you guys know more information about that, okay? So today we're going through geometric transformations, so that deals with translations, reflections, rotations, and dilations. So a transformation, for those of you that don't know, it moves or changes a figure in some way to produce a new figure that's called an image. So another name for your original image is called the pre-image. So what I've done here for you guys is I've given you a table that shows basically the different things that change or stay the same in this case for each transformation. So in translations, the size, shape, and orientation stay the same. For reflections, only the size and shape stay the same. The same thing goes for rotations. And then dilation is the only one that the size actually changes. So for dilations, the shape and orientation will stay the same. When I say orientation, I mean like it's going to be facing the same way. So for example, for a translation, the orientation doesn't change. You see that going from the pre-image to the image, it hasn't changed. It's still pointing the same way. It's the same exact thing, right? So when we're dealing with translations, you have your original pre-image, and then you're either adding or subtracting to make your new image. So it'll tell you that the pre-image has moved 2 units to the left and 3 units up. So that means that I'm going to be taking 2 away from my y value and I'm adding to my x value. Because when it goes up, it's adding. When it goes down, it's subtracting. To the left goes more negative, so you're subtracting. To the right, positive, so you're adding. Okay, that's why you see the plus or minus sign here. It all depends on what you're actually using. The next one is your reflections. So there's a couple different type of reflections to where you can either have it across the x-axis, which means that it's going to basically go from this side to this side, or vice versa. You have it where it's reflecting across the y-axis, which means that it goes from this side to here, or vice versa. And then there's the 2 that you see that are kind of shown. So they're not actually shown. These are over specific reflecting points. So they're actually reflected at this point, like this one here is actually reflected at 2, 1. So it's reflected over the C value. So the C point that's here. But again, this is just going to be a brief run through of reflections. So these are the rules that you would go by for reflections depending on which ones you have. The more common ones that we see are the ones across the x and y axis, but you will be asked to do images over specific lines. So when I say y is equal to x, that means that it's a line that goes straight through my origin. When it's y equals negative x, it's the same thing, but it's coming in a negative manner. Okay, remember that your x determines whether it's a positive or negative slope. So for rotations, that means that it's going around your coordinate plane or your Cartesian plane. Okay, so you have 90 degrees, 180 degrees, or 270. And each of these has its own specific rule. So you see for 90 degrees, and they always go counterclockwise, always. There's no clockwise, it's always counter. So for rotations of 90 degrees, you see that this is my pre-image. My new image is this, which means that I'm basically flipping these two and making my original y now the negative version, okay? So it basically switches the signs of it. The last one is your dilations. So you see this is the only one that changes the shape, changes the size. So in this case, it started at a pre-image of a smaller triangle. My image, or my dilated image, is now a larger triangle. So you'll see that for the rule, you have your original pre-image, and it's getting multiplied by the scale factor. So that could either shrink your image or make it larger. So it all depends on what the scale factor is. So if you have a scale factor of 2, it's going to enlarge the image. If you have a scale factor of 1/4, it's going to shrink the image, okay? So those are the rules you kind of have to go by. It's a brief run through. Again, this should be enough for you guys. Like, the rules that are here should be enough for you guys to do the actual worksheet. But if you can't do it, just hop onto the office hours. You can watch the YouTube video that's going to be posted on Monday for transformations. And yep, we'll go from there. Okay, bye guys.